here right now with Unika Alexander from the Proficient Lab. Thanks a lot for sitting down with us today. Tell us about your presentation here at the HITLAB Innovation Summit and how you think it was received.
I think it was received really well. I had a few people come up afterwards saying it was amazing. It was a really good talk. Someone shouted us out on LinkedIn saying, there were 3 amazing talks today and we were listed as one of them. So it was really good. It was some prep because, just in terms of the preparation to get here, some information we took from our deck, some we took from the heuristic analysis that HITLAB did on our platform. But all in all, we were able to put together something that was meaningful and that would speak to the audience. And it seems like it was well received.
So tell us a little bit more about your idea, your innovation.
Yeah, so we are a decentralized electronic quality management system. And when we look at life science laboratories specifically, we find that whether we're talking about research and development, going through FDA clinical trials, or treatment and diagnosis, each one of these spaces have laboratories and each one of them have quality requirements. And those requirements could be from the FDA, from CMS, but at this point, the information in those different types of laboratories are very much siloed. And the information from one site leads to development in another. So R&D leads to clinical trials. Similarly, assay development leads into diagnosis and treatment, but this data is siloed. And when you look at, how this information moves between organizations, at this point, it can't. And this is where our platform comes in. It allows individuals and data to move while allowing organizations to stay within the constructs of the requirements from a regulatory standpoint, but the information itself can move. And this is how we've gotten quality management data to be decentralized and shared as needed.
So you have unlocked the flow of the river of information so that it flows a lot of times just cleanly through the same business.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you started off with R&D in one organization and you ended up doing, preclinical or phase 1 in another organization, you're able to take that information and have it flow appropriately, which means when it's time to submit applications to the FDA from, a pharma standpoint or, drug development standpoint, you're able to have all of that data required and not, it removes the redundancies in trying to recreate information. If you just start off with a system like ours, that redundancy is eliminated. So, yes.
Interesting. So we were talking a little bit about your experiences out there in the field and how the approach that you have taken is not necessarily replicatable identically across the board. You do have to kind of customize to make sure to ensure that the flow continues.
Correct. So basically, our system is extremely modular, and hopefully I understand the question properly. Right. So our system is extremely modular, which means that the customization happens at an individual laboratory level. Right. So you're able to create the structure that you need to be compliant or, capture the data that you need. However, when it comes time to get that data to move from one place to another, our system allows for a few clicks of a button, and that information now moves from one organization to another organization within a quality management structure. So no emails, no Google Drives. It's a matter of taking it from one compliance system and having it into another, like keeping it in the same compliance system, but transferred to a different organization for continued use. Yep.
Yeah, I know you're excited about the future.
I am very excited.
So how did you connect with HITLAB and how did they become supporters of you?
Yeah, so in May of 2024, I came to the summit. And it was just one day. We were actually going through an accelerator program. I got some tickets and we were going through an accelerator program. So I had very little time. I mean, the accelerator was very intense. And I came here for a day. I'm like, I don't want these tickets to go to waste. I'm just going to show up. But for the day that I showed up, it was amazing. Like the knowledge and the individuals present were just really amazing. So I reached out to Stan and said, hey, this is interesting. Like, this is what we do. How can we get involved? And immediately, we connected, and HITLAB has just been so instrumental in getting us from where we were to where we're trying to go. So it's been a good journey working with them.
And they're still with you.
They're still with us. Yes.
Now, it seems like a pretty good partnership. Just it kind of came along just at about the right time.
Yeah, it did. We are raising a seed round for our company right now. So my co-founder is here somewhere. You probably interviewed him earlier. So we are raising a seed round, and HITLAB understands the challenges that companies face at that stage in terms of meeting the right people and presenting the right information. So they have really been instrumental, and it's almost taken on a mentorship role, which I didn't know was part of the package, but it was a good surprise.
Yeah, nice little bonus.
Yes, nice little bonus, but it's been very, very instrumental, not in just allowing our company to get where it needs to get, but allowing me as an individual to be more ready for the journey ahead. Yeah.
So where do you want to be with your innovation in a couple, 3 years?
So right now we are very much in the medical laboratory space because that's my background. So I'm in the male fertility space. That's where I've spent 14 years. So we are in the medical laboratory space, and we have found some good fit in oncology, fertility, molecular diagnostics. But because we are modular, we are able to encompass R&D, clinical trials. So that is our next phase. How do we get how do we extend ourselves out of just the medical laboratory space into R&D, into clinical trials? And I'm really happy to say that I've had a few conversations during this summit, and I've had two very knowledgeable people tell me the right areas to attack to get into pharma. So I'm so excited to go to the team and say, hey, two people on separate occasions said this is the right place to start. So let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I'm very impressed with what you're doing.
Thank you.
And the praise that you have earned, you've definitely earned it. So, Unika, I appreciate you coming by
Thank you.
and sharing your story and your
Absolutely.
innovation.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Thank you.